I've not made a stream for a little bit. I need to remember how to check if everything's actually working. But did you know, people? Did you know, for instance, there's a conference being held. Anyone can make their own conference these days. Now, the reason I find this somewhat interesting is because if I can find out where this is streaming, all right, cool. Now, there's going to be no eyes on this because impromptu stream here, but uh, you could look at. I wasn't going to cover this, but it's like, is crypto still tax Australia? Major legal update explained. It's pretty, to me, it's some pretty straightforward stuff. Like, just read, understand, etc., etc. But if if you ever want to have a look at this here in the land and under, which apparently China now what, not circumventilate, so they get in their boats and like swim around down in our waters for some reason. But anyway, that's like a different topic. But anyway, hello people, if you are watching, thank you for tuning in for the solo conference. Now, I find it funny, like I said before, it's not going to be a conference because I think a conference means there's more than one people and you actually communicate with each other. But this is just going to be me covering this. Now, anyway, aside from my ramblings, now it says here if you want to have a read, you can. Maybe I'll read this here. It says, "What's next for crypto taxes in Australia?" It says here, crypto tax regime may be seen on the brink of significant change, while the current framework can. That's probably where I'll leave it there. The way they end it is pretty good. Stay informed, maintain clear records, and follow ATO's current directives. It's like, because if things do change, if they do change, right, they could change fast and in your favor. And I'm guessing what they mean is fast and in your favor in terms of you being a cryptocurrency enthusiast of some sort. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's actually seen this, but anyway, if you are, thank you. Ethereum price. Let's have a look at the Ethereum price. Now, I made a brief stream talking about 10K Ethereum, and I was not kidding. But there was basically an article that I read, and that article was dated roughly. I won't share this particular screen, but it was called something about the heading was something along the lines of $4 trillion crypto quake, right? Now, whether or not you believe that, that's up to you. You might think money is all fake, and hence why cryptocurrency does exist. But if you do read these things, like apparently some people do, this is more a article related to people who may not already be in cryptocurrency. Now, if you've never heard of cryptocurrency, you could shill right here, insert shill, your favorite centralized exchange, your favorite chain, and how to figure out how to make money on cryptocurrency of some sort. Whether or not you want to do that, completely up to you. Whether or not you actually will make money, again, it depends on how much you actually understand this stuff. Now, where was I? Ethereum price currently, I think I'm sharing the screen here. No, I'm not. Why is that? Let's have a look. Sharing this, but it's not updating. Curious. What the fuck? Maybe, hang on, let me just refresh. Oh, hang on. What? Technical difficulties, people. Technical difficulties. Oh, you can't be seeing that, people. You can't be seeing that. Big, giant fucking cryptocurrency hat. Now, what we do want to see is this, though. Is this here. We'll try and get this in ad scene. Media. And we got we're going to share a screen. We want to share the Ethereum price, right? We try again. All right, there we go. It's working. Hip hip hooray. Now, we have the Ethereum price on screen. Now, this particular article was dated back to roughly, in crypto terms, decades ago, July 29, 2025, right? Again, as you can tell, if you're new to this stream, basically that I'm somewhat a fan of these three. There's also a T-share on one side, and there's also INC token on the other. But since then, there's been a lot of improvements. A lot of stuff has been built on top of this particular chain. Now, if you're not so familiar with this chain, then you might be familiar with something called Ethereum. This article released around July 29, 2025, right? Basically goes through and explains. I don't know where to begin. It summarizes things in a way that usually crypto was once, um, tech insiders, passionate early adopters, uh, people that would specialize in that. I don't know, but now but now as cryptocurrencies hit record highs and headlines, it seems the crowds kind of changed a little bit. Basically, the momentum is also building from Wall Street to Washington. So this is US primarily. The article I covered before, again, is Australia, but for some reason, Australia holds. There's about 31% of the population has ever dabbled, I guess you'd call it, with cryptocurrency. I hope that 31% has actually kept records of this shit because it's all on chain, so it's not that hard to do for some. Like, it's pretty easy. Anyway, so what it's saying now is this. It's saying that previously, see, this is why it sucks doing a live on stream. You lose where you track of where you're up to, and you're like, the fuck, bro. Okay, so here, all right, cool. So you have to scroll down a little bit, and if you scroll down, it's all good. Basically, what I was saying is, now I hope this audio is coming through okay. Let's have a look. Basically, it's saying that good things could be coming, and since this article dropped, the price seemed to react positively. I'm not saying there's any correlation between this particular article and the price where we're currently sitting at now. Let's have a look. So July 29, I think I said it was. So, since there, it actually dipped. So maybe people were selling, I'm not sure. It then proceeded on to crack like 4.7K, which is not too bad, right? It's saying here, though, there's some people on the sidelines, right? It's also suggesting things like regulatory clarity opens the gates for altcoins and institutional capital in the next few months could prove pivotal for crypto's future. Now, that as well, as I've heard before in Q1, there could be some like interesting events taking place. There could be some interesting price action across the entire board in cryptocurrency space. I'm not so sure why that is, to be brutally honest. But the more I look into it, the more I learn. When I read articles like this, it does seem to be as if the stars are aligning right now. The article then goes on to say, so remember around 29th of July, it came out, this article, and since then, it kind of did okay. If you're not familiar with Ethereum, then you really, really are kind of behind the fucking eight ball right now. If you're not familiar with Bitcoin, if you're not familiar with Ethereum, you most likely haven't heard of the fork of that and the free airdrop that's just sitting there. But then if you're new to it, I doubt you're going to have anything on there anyway. So, you might want to, if you've been around for a few years now, have a look into it. I mean, I'm not saying you should, but you just knowledge is power, etc., etc. Now, it says here basically that there used to be cryptocurrency conferences. Cryptoland, I guess they refer to it. They were saying there was the most technical people you could imagine, right? Programmers, mathematicians, cybersecurity experts. Now that still might be true in some communities, but I guess the vast majority, like myself, I am none of them. I can barely speak English properly, as you can tell with my ramblings. But we see that there are crypto conferences happening a lot, right? Like a lot. So, who are attending these crypto conferences and who are the speakers of these crypto conferences? Like myself making a crypto conference right now from my little office, which I don't think anyone's ever actually been to. Um, so from there, we then see things like this. It's like the attendees now versus, the experts in cybersecurity, mathematicians, experts, and programming experts. Some of the attendees now look like people that you might see at a shopping center, or a mall, or a theme park, or a sports game, right? It's like regular people. So that is the new attendees of the cryptocurrency conferences, which is, I can relate because it's funny. This came out, and then not long after this, there was actually, I think it's a conference relating to the cryptocurrency that I have on this particular hat. Now, Pulse Chain being the one, Hex. No, I think there's another one coming out with Hex soon. But what's it called? Breaking news. I'll share this in a second as well. So where was I? So yeah, that's kind of where we're at now, and I can't help but think that experts, are actually analyzing us, me and you. If you're most likely in the Pulse Chain community, you probably remember the time when there was articles written about Hexkins laughing because their bags are down. Um, the article kind of goes on, and this I found funny. It mentioned that it said something about talking about this person expert was talking about crypto and saying, at the time, crypto was looked at like by regular people as sort of a scam or gimmick, which is, I think, talking to some people, they still you get that vibe. Well, here in Australia anyway. But then on the other end, you get people who made like good money with it, and they are happy to like talk about it. And then there's people who got scammed, and there's people who had positive, negative, like a whole range of different experiences. So the more people get exposed, the more likelihood of negative things happening as well as positive. Now we just all hope that the positive outweigh the negative, but it's just crypto. No one's it's you and the chain. That's it. Now it goes on here. It mentions this, and this is funny because I can't help but think like it's like this is like a description of the Polskins, basically saying it's like now there's like daily topic of conversation is crypto. You talk about the price, etc., etc. And now we see Uber drivers whiz around through their cities with their crypto trading apps open on the phone and then maps on the other. And I can't help but think I'm pretty sure I've seen streamers on and they're like buying crypto from some of their earnings, and I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. And I myself did an Uber challenge, and I'm like, this is gonna be fucking pretty good if this works out. Which I might, like I said, I'm going to do in around the Q4, beginning of October 1st, like, of Australian dates. So it might be like the last day of whatever, September, whatever, 30th. And most of the time, it's worked out in my favor. I would say. But the most important ingredient, the thing that you need is time, right? Because if you buy it and it goes down and you sell it, you're just wrecked. And it's like not even including the keeping the records of all the taxes and things like that. And then not to mention if this thing does get updated in Australia, and all of a sudden there's no capital gains, which means there'll be no capital losses, which means if I have all these capital losses, I'm going to be extremely annoyed. But on the flip side, I'll be like, well, bring on the gains, right? So, sorry, I'm laughing because I've been here for that long. I have seen so much, and this particular cryptocurrency I'm primarily focusing on now has been the most I don't know how you explain it. It has absorbed so much time, and I really think people need to have in place their plan for when they do get mad rich, because when that happens, it's going to happen fast and quick. And if you don't have a plan, you're not going to know what to do. So the people that did already get rich pretty quick and pretty fast now have a plan. Maybe they're streaming all the time. Maybe they've got their own personal lives outside of streaming all sorted, and that's why they gives them the ability to stream. Who knows, right? I myself has been focusing on debts, and I am extremely close. Not to jinx it, touch wood, but removing all debts is going to be quite a feat. And then once that happens, and then I build up and start paying some other stuff, well, not paying off some other stuff, like sort of saving some other buckets. Then it's going to be interesting to free up some capital to be able to purchase some interesting things. Like most likely, I'm torn between Pulse Chain, Pulse X, and Hex, like the three of them. It's very hard decisions to make. I'm thinking just stacking Pulse X, Pulse Hex. I'm not sure. Ethereum, it becomes a bit of a harder beast because I'm not going to be earning 4,000 US in 1 week, so I'm not going to be able to like take a whole paycheck and go, okay, I'm going to buy one Ethereum this month. It's going to be a hard argument, but things like Pulse Chain will share this tab instead. If you're familiar with how to connect, if you have a wallet, if you have your operational security in place, if you have, the ability to understand how to use this and get, how to transact on the chain, it might be interesting if these particular tokens start to lose some decimal points. Now, if they start to lose some decimal points, right, then you may be in a position whereby had you purchased, $4,000 worth of Ethereum and have one Ethereum token, and it might hit 10K, and you've made like some pretty decent gains there in a reasonably short amount of time compared to other markets. But man, I hope this audio is coming through. If it does the same thing on something like Pulse Chain and you drop X amount of dollars in, and all of a sudden it does a few X's, maybe it does, instead of 2X, maybe it does 10X, maybe it does 100X, maybe it does 1,000X. Who knows how high it can go, especially in the long term, which is like more than a few days. These things tend to run hard. When they go, they pull back just as hard. But if we see the 6 month, probably gives a good projection. It's like entry points, but also possible entry points. Pulse X, you can have a look at that one. Entry point, yeah, bro. Oh, wrecked. Entry point, yeah, but etc. etc. Now, as I said, now back to the article. Now, what it's saying here. So yeah, I was getting over the whole conference. There's a lot of conferences taking place. People who are attending and talking at the conferences once were programming experts, cybersecurity experts, leaders in the field, founders, etc. It now appears to be attendees, I should say, sorry, also sort of, have changed. And now we see, a common discussion on the news, and then we see like worldwide, maybe not in China, and then we see what's it called? articles pop up saying maybe the wild ride hasn't even started. It's like we are talking in a space where Bitcoin has done how many X's, Ethereum's done how many X's, and HEX did a 10,000X, and Pulse Chain is most likely primed to do large amounts of X's in my, based from what I'm seeing, especially based on just one person. If myself decided to make more purchases, which I have been holding off doing because, like I said, I got that, the price would most likely be going up, but it's not. It's like, what happens if there was a huge wave of individuals that started making purchases and this thing just goes through the roof? Whilst making purchases, they're also taking profits and becoming financially free. That would be kind of cool, right? But you have to know how to do it. You have to know how to look. You also kind of want to keep record of everything you do, and then you can look back on it and go, huh, that was interesting, to see where you failed or succeeded otherwise. Now, we have here, we're still early, I believe. This article suggests that we are also early. It says, so apparently, reportedly, there was an Ernst Young consulting firm that found that 59% of institutional investors, pension funds, endowments, hedge funds, etc., plan to invest more than, invest 5% or more of their assets under management into cryptocurrency this year alone in the US. That is extremely large. Now, moving on from that, there's something about regulation. Like I said, I covered a bit in the Australian side of things, but if we go over to the US side of things, which could lead the way, it says here that July was a turning point for the entire crypto industry. There was years of uncertainty. Then Washington had its first ever crypto week, so maybe like a Washington conference. Bitcoin went past 120K, shattering previous highs. But I think the other day, if I am not mistaken, Bitcoin it was pretty close, right? It was pretty close. Let's have a look. Here. Yeah, it got to 124. So it smashed all-time highs, and then later on, it smashed all-time highs again, bro. Oh, there you go. Oh, well, look at it now. It's shooting now. It's like, it's doing all right, man. Now back to Ethereum, because in Ethereum side of things, so sorry, jumping ahead too far. So if you go to the Crypto Week, they talked about the Genius Act. So we could have a look at that maybe. It goes on to talk about some things which you guys may not care about. Some boring stuff. Person says super bullish. Stablecoins as a whole, but not just they. It's like one piece of the puzzle. The crypto is coming transformation. Now, it then talks about, this was interesting, like people who like Pulse Chain and Ethereum might like this. It's like next level upgrade, which I don't fully understand, so I have to look it up. Maybe you want to do that yourself. I'm not sure, but I don't know if you've been looking at the Gwei's been doing okay. I'm surprised. Now, while Bitcoin grabbed headlines with its price surge, Ethereum has been quietly making waves of its own. Jumped 50%, went up. So this is this, in simple terms, ZK EVM uses advanced maths proofs to verify transactions without network having to process every single step. So that would be beneficial to keep fees low, that would make sense to people in layman's terms. It was once expensive, $1,000 to do a transaction to a swap, and now it's only like $1, which still kind of sucks because Pulse Chain is like 2 cents. But people probably need to understand the whole Ethereum issue before they understand the problem, the solution that's like in front of them, which is hard to explain to like very new people because they'll be like, oh, but yeah, anyway, that could be a conundrum. Maybe someone figure out how to solve the problem of people not understanding that there is a problem first. It's kind of hard. Now, anyway, yeah, so in summary, Ethereum implementing something called ZK EVM would make Ethereum faster and cheaper to use, which would be good for Ethereum users. Pulse Chain, on the other hand, potentially could. I'm not a dev or anything, but maybe because it's a fork of, they can do their thing over on the Pulse Chain side with the exact same code. And then it would work over there, which would make Pulse Chain even cheaper, even more sustainable, even more cheaper. That's probably the best way. Even cheaper. Let's have a look. And then it goes on to explain investors could support many more applications and users, and we've seen this with the Solana argument. Sometimes that network drops. Pulse Chain doesn't drop. Ethereum doesn't drop. Driving demand from Ethereum and ETH and tokens built on its network. So, what does that mean? I think there's nothing to explain the Clarity Act. I mean, crypto, some boring stuff there. You probably don't want me to read that. It's very annoying, but what this means for altcoins, right? Altcoins. So after reading some of that, it's saying that cryptocurrencies beyond Bitcoin, Ethereum, stand to benefit enormously, which is amazing. Reportedly, it's saying that. Well, I mean, there's a whole lot of other interesting stuff if you're looking at this area of the cryptocurrency space, as well as it ties into the financial markets, as it ties into the regulations, it ties into how the fucking whole economy operates, right? And how it's becoming like one of the not the pillars, but one of the the blocks that hold the weight. It's no longer just some obscure fucking leaf blowing through the wind. It's like, oh, this is now actually going to be a brick of the letterbox. Wow, it's going to be a part of the entire economy, and maybe anyway, and eventually maybe it becomes that brick turns into a more solid fence, and maybe it turns into a wall. I don't know, and maybe the bricks get bigger. Now, or maybe I should reframe that and just be like, on that now it's like those 3D printed houses from don't need any bricks. But then it says here, basically, for some regulation stuff, it would give some projects green light to fully engage with American users and investors. Now, I'm pretty sure, but you'd have to double check. I'm not sure if these guys are aware of this, but there has been some regulation clarity explained already from certain jurisdictions, basically explaining some cryptocurrencies who didn't just they didn't just drop. They failed, basically. They lost, right? That's not overly clear here, but maybe as a whole, maybe it was like the icebreaker, right? And people aren't giving the credit where it's actually due for whatever reason. But I have seen some tokens being relisted on decentralized exchanges. Maybe eventually they might be listed on centralized exchanges, but I mean, who's paying that fee? Like, seriously. Anyway, we have also we have also it talks about that, saying that then it says also at a similar time with the upgrade, ZK EVM upgrade, making it faster, and then you got some more regulatory clarity, allowing them to operate without fear. There's also other things in there that are cheaper, faster, like forks of it. The timing is good, reportedly, and that institutional. And it goes on to say some very interesting numbers, and I guess that one of the very emphasis of it is that if you think you're late, not just the Pulse chain, but crypto as a whole. I don't know if you've been living under a rock, but the price of Ethereum has been doing okay. We'll do the look into HEX as well, the quote unquote treasury, which we saw on X some people pointing out that like it was a treasury before it was a treasury. A treasury was a thing at ETH Treasury. What else? So that's that, and then it sort of wraps up saying, it sort of wraps up saying that August could be pretty cool. Now I'm covering this like what's the date? Mid-August? Yeah, like mid-August. And it's sort of saying that because it's what's it called? It's saying historic summer for cryptocurrency. Now I'm not sure where you guys are over there in the US, but basically, yeah, the seasons are a bit different in different hemispheres, as everyone is aware. I know that, but like I say, Q4 could be very, very fucking bullish for cryptocurrency, right? Now, and then on top of that, you got some like quote unquote regulatory clarity coming from across the world. There's some legal cases, not pending, but a pending appeal, which could alter the entire landscape and the way cryptocurrency is taxed here in Australia, subject to the guidance of the body that, like, obviously the laws that exist, and they issue their laws or whatever the guidance is. Then you have upgrades. Then you have, on top of the upgrades, people learning about upgrades and learning about bridging, wrapping, different networks. Like, it gets fucking pretty exciting if you're a crypto nerd, or a crypto. I don't know what you call us now, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck we are, but we are like, we don't forget easily. Trust me, we do not fucking forget. Because it's all on chain, you know what I'm saying? So the Clarity Act is moving through Congress, right? Which is good. Now, September saying reaching. Okay, cool. I haven't been following, so there's some other stuff. People could probably dig into that, drill into that a little bit deeper. Though any of these particular developments would be significant for the markets, it's saying that. Okay, cool. It's saying they present a perfect storm, blah 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 blah, and then it's saying, basically, then it goes on to say, we're witnessing a transformation of cryptocurrency from a fringe technology, like people calling it a scam, to critical infrastructure where it's discussed on mainstream media and access is easily and readily available. It's like not a pain in the ass to use. So you can have an app open. But then you dig deeper and you really find out what's going on behind the scenes. Not behind the scenes, but what's this DeFi thing? Why does a company like Coinbase have this like beautiful centralized exchange, or whatever, Binance, whatever, you have this beautiful centralized exchange, but yet in the back they have all these DeFi tools available and options? Like, how is that working in their favor? Like, is there a way that this is creating? Anyway, my nose, I'm about to sneeze, sorry. Now, I don't want to blow everyone's eardrums out. Now, where was I? Basically, we have what's called, there was a sacrifice, and now it's become the Pulse Chain Treasury Tracker. Now, I don't personally think this Ethereum is ever going to be sold, to be purchased, God knows what. But reportedly, there has been instances where on-chain it has been proven, or it appears as if on-chain previously it has actually purchased some of these particular tokens here, right? Now, we could go back here, and there's a whole lot of other cryptocurrencies, and like you could go on this list. If you remember in the early days when there was like 6 of them on this list, and now there is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of the fucking things. Now imagine if you had a treasury of 734 million, right, which is up 100 million at this point in time on Ethereum. Say Ethereum hits 10K. What does this then become? And then you could start drilling over what you could buy across here. But then imagine you had a treasury that would only purchase, or has previously only purchased from this particular these particulars here. What could the price do? Now, I'm pretty sure there's a gadget, an app, a gadget that can predict potentially what this may do, right? Now, I don't think that's going to happen because that would be like basically a gift from the crypto gods saying, you are now mad rich. I hope I hope you're ready. And I hope you've got everything in order. And I hope you can still function as a person without destroying your like self in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully all your dreams and ambitions can come true. And hopefully, you get that Lambo you all want, or something, I don't know, whatever car you want. Now, I'm going to be here tracking this the whole time. And like I said, Q4, I will start making some purchases because I think I should be in a position. I should be in a position where I have some debts under control, like really under control, and have some excess funds. And it's not going to be money that I'm sacrificing my rent or my food or my if there's no other debts, that would be good. But if you have other debts like your subscriptions, I don't know, to like your multiple devices and all your fucking gadgets and trinkets that you need constantly all the time, and all the food that you buy like outside constantly all the time, you say you're doing that, and you don't want to be spending that money because that's like you need to survive. Like, say you have kids, multiple kids, mortgage, your family, and shit like that. Like, you don't want to be like sacrificing that. Like, this is logic, but I mean, maybe not everyone understands logic because I don't. Because I sucked. I failed all my logic classes. That's why. That's why I'm in this conference making a solo conference. Looking at fucking 734 milli, thinking about what the price will do to these fucking. Oh my god. Oh, mind you, the rate, the sacrifice rate is still under. So once we start cracking through and doing how many doubles could you do on the sacrifice rates, once HEX starts dropping some zeros, and once INC, I have no idea what that's going to do. Once I start purchasing this is all going to start going green. I just know it. I hope it does. Otherwise, I'll be doing what I'm doing for the next few years anyway. A few years. Now, let's have a look. So I went back through and I forgot completely about cryptocurrency for a few days. And I went back and checked, and I actually have some just on a, like cryptocurrency just there. I'm like, oh, that's really good. I can let it sit, percolate. I mean, I don't know, running a node might not be a bad idea. Then you get the hardware. Anyway, but this is why I will show this tab. I shouldn't. This has been part of my journey where I was. I like it. There's the history. This one's actually on post chain. What the fuck? Why is this not sharing? For whatever reason, it's not updating. Hang on. Hang on. Read that out. Let's see if we can catch up. Huh. That is weird. All right, we'll zoom in. What is going on? All right, well, we'll add scene again. Media, and we will share screen. Are you going to let me pick the screen? Obviously not. Okay. What the fuck's going on, people? It's Gremlins. I've got Gremlins. It's official. I've got Gremlins. I'm watching them. I'm seeing what they're doing. What the fuck, bro? It is official. I got some mad Gremlins. Yeah. Screen. What the fuck? All delete. I'm about to drop. I can just feel it. I can just feel it, people. I feel it in my bones. This fucking thing. This is as high tech as it gets, people. Some dude clicking buttons. You can't even click buttons. Oh, the suspense is killing me. It's like, will he fuck up and reveal his fucking seeds live on stream? Will he? Won't he? What the fuck? What's going on, man? I'm on net. Yeah. What the fuck's going on? I've completely just sidetracked off what I wanted to talk about. Where's my share screen option? You bastards. Alright, well, fuck am I sharing? Play some interlude. Come on, you fucking piece of shite. What the fuck? Bro. We can move this shit? Fuck. Oh. Alright, hang on. Just. What the fuck? Alright, piss that scene off. Alright, so add scene. We got some media. We got some screen sharing to take place. And it doesn't let me choose. Get the fuck out of here. Alright, you're stuck with me. You're stuck with me in my hat and my fucking hoodie and my hat. Basically, cryptocurrency has, in some instances, like with HEX, ability to lock away and forget about it and earn, in some instances, some yield. Mind you, it's been very low, but if you have a look on Ethereum, the yield's actually changing ever so slightly, which is kind of interesting. Basically, sorry, it's like I'm laughing at some other shit I'm thinking in my head. I should be like, full serious on my conference, This conference needs to go well, otherwise, like, the price is going to do what? Like, just be down forever since inception. Okay, cool. Since all time high, okay, cool. Now, not to, like, downplay, the potential of this particular chain that I think about, which is Pulse Chain, primarily Pulse X, HEX, and INC. But along the way, if you do come into any money, cryptocurrency of any sort, and maybe lock it away. Man, I can't stand up. Look at my face, man. I got my voice. Oh, this is awful. Yeah. Imagine that on a fucking 100-inch. Man, the fuck is this shit? It's just turned into a mirror session. All right. So, people. If you lock away your cryptocurrency, right? Or you buy it and just leave it and do not do anything and just sit there. And it's not an absolutely garbage. Like, if there was rankings, like, what's the worst ranking? C? I can't remember what, like a ranking like A, triple A, double A, B, C, D. I think it's D, F. If it's an F, if it was an F, maybe it's not gonna be there. Maybe it's just gonna obliterate into nothing. But if it's something that is actually still gonna be around in a little bit, maybe just maybe, right? Maybe just maybe, you come back and it's worth more. So I locked away. I think I documented some of this stuff. I was doing little mini purchases through some Uber challenge, and I made, I can't remember how much it was. I think I split the difference. I put it away in a stable farm, and I completely forgot about it and cashed it out. because I was dying for cash. And then I think I locked away some as well. And since I locked it away, the price of it has actually increased ever so slightly. The yield is basically nothing though. But should the price increase in any way, shape, or form, it hasn't lost any value, which is amazing. Not the best pitch by any means, but did I lose money? No. Which is pretty good, right? Which is not too bad. Man, I really want these scenes to appear. I just get my mug off this fucking thing, man. Come on, come. What is it sharing? What crack code is this? Like it's only sharing. I'm not talking to myself here, I know, but it's like only sharing. This is my frustrations. It's only sharing the camera, and when I click add scene, media, the fuck screen, bro. What the? Oh, this is annoying. Oh, okay, okay. So now it don't. Okay. So now, in the middle of all that, right? In the middle of all that, it decides to do this to me. Oh, actually, hang on. Interesting. No shit. I think I just. Nah, you asshole. Ah, see, I thought I could just line up this thing like slides. That is very deceiving, fucking Mr. Studio Restream. Fix your shit, says the incompetent streamer. Now, where was I? Now I've got the treasury tracker. The treasury tracker, right? And basically, it looks like it's 100 million profit, which is not bad. I question whether this will ever sell. It might not. Here, this, right? This here. Now, this is doing small purchases, which I, over the course of time, made. And it is now currently sitting at this value here, $531, which is, oh, well, it's not actually sitting there because it's fucking gone, but the figures would equal that. Should I ever mint this shit? And then based on T-shares, and that would be the potential yield as of today. But if you try to do it now, you might nuke your shit and it's gone. So keep that in mind. What the fuck? Okay, so for instance, imagine you amass a small amount of cryptocurrency, right? And the small amount of cryptocurrency is worth $500 or something. I don't know. Maybe you can spare $500. Imagine if I create some ladder over the course of time where I'm in a position where there's no debts, and then I can start creating ladders, and the ladders equal this amount, and then you have them sort of rolling, and then as you need the money, you come back and go, oh, it's worth there, it's probably worth more, whatever, and then you can start to take profit in a way that doesn't destroy the price, which could be kind of important. Maybe learn about LP provider. I don't know. That aside, that's like another topic. But basically, if that does happen, and for me, I'm going to say when, because when I start purchasing these things, it's going to be very enjoyable to watch this play out, especially if the price starts to go hard. And then you could do that maybe with things like meme coins. I don't know. My personal favorite meme coin was Most. I say what, it still is Most, but I was like mucking around with this thing for ages and just making little trades, and that's where I built up some of the extra money. Right, tiny little bits here, add it up, put it in stable farm, let it sit. put some away. I think I couldn't decide what to do with it, so I just put it away into a hex, just burnt it, fucking let it sit there, and then come back if I do what I say I'm going to do as per the contract, and then actually mint it later on, and then it will be there. And then if I want, I can sell it, and then calculate capital gains, capital losses, and then depending on what the US does and depending on what Australia does, it'll be interesting if there is any. I'm like, what the? Anyway, that's not the timeline. But given that ability to just sit there, you lock it away, you save yourself from yourself, I believe is the saying. So this one, I think I did this on purpose. So from memory, um, I forget I'm gonna do shit. I come back to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. Fuck. So October 2nd, right? October 2nd. So that's one day after Q4 begins, right? So after Q4 begins, I'm going to have a stake that ends. And I am most likely not going to sell it. But by that point in time, I might be in a financial position to buy some more. Now, maybe I match it, I don't know, maybe a bit less, maybe like a 10% of it, or maybe 1,000% of it. I'm not sure. Maybe not 1,000, but maybe, maybe 100, 200%. And then I start stacking them, right? And then maybe the price runs, and then all of a sudden, because you didn't need the money and the money's there, it's gonna be like, oh, this is good, cool. What can I do with this? And then, yeah, anyway, that's what everyone has to figure out their own way to do this. Personally, my take is, maybe sharing this. Personally, I like to keep an eye on how many T-shares I have, and I like to think of it as a game. The HEX game, one of the HEX games, is how many T-shares can I amass. Now, most people would probably play the game of how much money can I amass. Some other people might play the game how much units can I amass, etc., etc. But I think HEX is interesting because of the T-share factor, like the hash rate kind of. So in the future, what you do now will affect your future. Like, this is living proof. What I did here, because I did all this here, I now have this here. Well, I don't have it yet, but yeah, I potentially have that. Now, what else? So, if you're new to cryptocurrency, this is gonna make no sense to you at all. Like, I would probably run away and run for the hills and just figure out how to buy Bitcoin, Ethereum, and then how to use a bridge, how to change RPC settings, and then how to connect the wallet, and what DApp is, and how to not get drained multiple times, and how to lose your seeds, and how not to get scammed, and how to give away your shit, and how to hold for long periods of time. Because imagine buying Ethereum at the fucking whatever it was at the very beginning, and holding it to now, and current price is $4,400. That's pretty good, man. Imagine then you could do that with this Pulse chain, Pulse X, INC, and Hex. Imagine that. And imagine you could get not wrench attacked along the way, and whatever else, and fucking kidnapped or some shit. I don't know. It could happen. You just very crazy people out there. That's why you gotta keep your operational security very secure. Not stream and show your face to the world and reveal your wallets and all the money you have. Anyway. Now, what else? Yeah, so imagine then Pulse chain starts ripping really hard, Hex starts ripping really hard, Pulse X starts ripping really hard, INC starts ripping really hard. Then what? And then most likely, most and a lot of the other meme coins will probably do some interesting things. What the fuck? Okay. Yeah, I've been watching any of this. See what I should have done? I should have pulled out the stable liquidity and bought any, like any of these tokens at like the all-time lows. But instead, I was out working, grinding super hard, working on myself, paying off debt. Then once the debt's gone, and because I have that revenue, I'll continue to have that revenue. And then if this stuff ever takes off again, I'll still have the same lifestyle, which is fine. Well, some things might change just ever so slightly. Might. I'm not sure, but yeah, I think it'll be healthy. It won't be like I jumped off a cliff and I wish I didn't, sort of thing. You know. Now, I think I'll end it there. What is this? Yeah, see, and this is gonna be I'll share this. This is what I'm saying. Share this tab instead. Now, it was breaking news about 22 minutes ago, but I've been rambling on for a bit. Now, it's saying that it's ramp.now, which I'm still yet to connect to. It's saying that soon 150 plus chains, and then yeah, cool. Okay, so it's US market. Okay, hopefully it connects. This market here in Australia. That's gonna be very cool. Yeah, I don't know. They're probably making money off this along the way somehow. Yes, fees, whatever. Without making money, it wouldn't exist. Like, yeah. What time? What is it? Is it late? Okay. Do you want to come on the stream? I didn't lie. I lost track of time. See, this is the real life streaming. I'm not gonna get range attack live on stream. It should be okay. All right, dangerous pass. Now, wrap this one up. All right. In closing, crypto, good. Markets, new. Pulse chain, very good. Barriers, falling. Prices, simmering. Q4 approaching, and someone's got a big old bag of cryptocurrency. But the hard work will be left, I guarantee you, with myself, because no one else can do this for me. So that being said, I will close this one out. Hopefully, the price goes up a lot on Ethereum, a lot on Bitcoin. Everything else, oh my God, BNB is almost 1K again. Everything else should follow, including Pulse Chain, including PulseX, including HEX, including INC. And I want to see this treasury at 1 billion. I want to see if it says 1 billion. That'll be kind of cool to see. 1 trillion would be face melting. But yeah, 1 billion would mean a lot of this. Share this tab. A lot of this. All right. Can I make it? Another 40 seconds. Another 40 seconds before the zombie comes through the door and attacks me. We should be okay, people. I should be able to make another stream. I should live to stream another day. I hope, people. Now, I want to end it.